What are the negative outcomes then?
Negative outcomes of dating someone who's a lot older than you?
Then let's compare them to the positive outcomes.
Sure. So if we look at from what now granted, I don't have a ton of data right now, Andrew, so I'm not going to cite direct data.
So what's the negative outcomes?
But it is very easy for someone to get groomed in that type of relationship in which someone is a lot older than them and they are swooning over them and they are completely blinded by everything. I can't say that?
No, it's totally fine. Just for the sake of the conversation, though, can you just clarify grooming? Just so we understand what does that mean? Talking about
sure,
when you say
I'm
grooming.
happy to do that. It's basically just this idea of when you're like emotionally priming someone or you're going after someone who is much less emotionally developed than you are for the sake of manipulating them or being in a sense that you are much more developed than they are.
Got it. And would you argue that men have trouble with displays of emotion, empathy, and various things like this?
Sure. And
that women have a higher emotional intelligence?
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think in certain cases
you don't think women have a higher emotional intelligence?
I think largely they do, yes.
Okay, so then women who have the higher emotional intelligence and men who have repressed emotion, if they're dating, if they're dating, isn't the woman in this situation of power here?
Nice, Andrew. I don't think that 41-year-old women should also date 18-year-old men. So I'm being consistent here.
Why not?
Okay, I want to move on to something else.
I don't care. I want to finish this.
No, I'm not.
I don't care. I want to finish it.
I'm not going to say anything.
Stop running, bro.
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Stop fucking running. Stop running. You're right here having a debate about your views, especially when it comes on feminism. A big feminist talking point is that men are predatory if they're older men and they want to date younger women. That's a massive talking point. There's no way for you to run from it. Now justify the fucking view.
It's fucking weird, dude.
That doesn't mean shit.
Is. Why don't you date a 41-year-old? You are 41. Why would you not date a 41-year-old?
What if you want to have a bunch of kids?
Then you can date someone who's younger, but why would you want to date someone who's fresh out of high school?
Well, wait a second. What if the age of high school ended at 15?
Oh, okay.
By the way, let me ask you this, right? You think that it's weird because they're freshly out of high school?
Sure.
So are the fucking men that 18-year-olds are dating at 18, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're in a similar stage of development.
Weird. Why would a woman want to date a man who's fresh out of high school?
Because she's also out of high school, dude. What the fuck?
That's like dating your brother.
No, what?
Yeah, it's like dating your brother. It's stupid rhetoric.
Okay, Andrew. Yeah,
that's not a justification. Who cares? Like, why is it if they're fresh out of college that's better?
I wanted to write down Andrew's vision for the world and my vision of the world. So why don't we just add that to the list? That there's nothing wrong with 41-year-olds. Is there?
You have not made a justification for why there is.
Is there ever an? Yeah, because I'm not.
Because you can't. You fucking can't. No, you don't get to run.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You don't get to run. This is a massive feminist talking point. The age discrepancy between older men. They say that they're predatory. You made the argument they're predatory.
Men are inherently predatory.
Only if they want to date younger women.
Younger and 18-year-olds is
okay.
So
41
different.
and 20.
It's still kind of weird.
41 and 24.
Yeah, that's fine. There's
based on what?
There's not a precise line,
Andrew. You're a fucking liar.
Hold on.
You don't know why.
We can say that it is okay for someone to date someone who is 40, and if they're 41, and not okay at 18, and that doesn't mean that there's a precise age right there that this age is too much, this age is too little. I think it's easy to be like, you shouldn't date someone.
So if you observed, but you wouldn't make laws against it.
Laws against it?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't make laws against it.
But they shouldn't do it.
Yeah, people should not do things a lot, even if
there is. So I would make this case, but on this, that's really weird because we do tailor laws towards predatory sexual behavior in a big way, and I'm sure you're for those laws.
Sure.
Why wouldn't you be, if you consider this to be a predatory sexual behavior, why would you not want to target laws towards this, though? That's fucking weird.
Here we go. And the reason is because I think that, once again, you can prioritize different values here. I think autonomy of women is fine. If an 18-year-old genuinely wants to marry someone who's a lot older, I think it's a bad decision. I think she's likely it's going to lead to a lot of negative emotional outcomes, but I don't think the state should necessarily bar her from doing it because she's over the age of 18. Okay?
Okay, no, that actually doesn't track.
Absolutely.
So when you're talking about, you made the bold claim that it's weird, and the reason it's weird and bad is because you think that at least most of these relationships must be predatory?
It has a high potential for it. Not all of them are.
I didn't say all. What does most mean?
Yeah.
You think most of them are?
I think most of them can be.
What other criteria would you have for most of this thing, hang on, which is sexually
Fine.
predatory.
We have to draw the
Hang
line.
on, sexually predatory shouldn't be outlawed?
We have to draw the line somewhere, Andrew. So if you would like to say that maybe, actually, I've heard that before, that maybe you should raise the age of consent to like 21, or there should be like Romeo and Juliet laws so that it does get higher, so that a 41-year-old couldn't date an 18-year-old.
Would you be for that?
I think in those cases, there's a good argument to be made there.
Okay, can we disenfranchise 18-year-old women then?
What do you mean disenfranchise? How
Make sure that between 18 and 21...
Because I can't have sex with you, you can't vote. What the fuck, dude?
Why, wait a second. Isn't the justification for why they can't vote the same as why they can't have sex?
No, because sex and voting are very different. People make uninformed decisions.
Why shouldn't adults be able to have sex with 16-year-olds? Isn't it for the same reason the 16-year-old shouldn't vote?
No.
Oh. What? It's not?
Do you think if a 16-year-old votes or doesn't vote, they're going to be deeply traumatized?
Well, I mean, if enough 16-year-olds do, yeah. Yes, they could be. Absolutely.
Do you think that parallels the harm of child abuse?
Well, first of all, I'm not sure that, like, if a 19-year-old has sex with a 16-year-old, the 16-year-old is deeply traumatized, honestly.
Okay.
Do you think so? Do you think that, like, not really.
It's weird.
I would say that that's like
19, 16.
Yeah, I'd say that's a little gross, but
Yeah.
like, what about 1917?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really care, right?
There's always going to be a line here, and there's
Yeah,
always
so the thing
different
is
things.
like, if that's the case, if you're like, they're 19 years old and 17 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's still predatory behavior from your view.
No. I don't think necessarily it is.
But it should stay illegal.
No, I didn't say that.
It should be legal.
19 and 17, there are some Romeo and Juliet laws that I would say I'm in favor of.
How is the 1-year displacement then from 16 to 17? That is
What?
stupid.
What do you mean?
Like, if you give the displacement, you're like, at 17 years old to 19 years old, that's too much, but at 16, it's
Andrew,
not. That is fucking.
Of course,
that's dumb.
Of course, there's going to be an arbitrary distinction. I'm not saying there can't be an arbitrary.
That's super arbitrary.
I think 2 years in that age gap
Yeah.
is as large as you should go.
Yeah. So but the question here still remains, right? What about 35 and 18?
I think if you're older than like
29,
23 or 24, you shouldn't be dating someone fresh out of high school.
Yeah. What is the fresh out of high school thing?
Because you're in a different stage.
You
of
could
life.
also be a CEO at 18,
you're
right?
in a different stage of life. Yeah, Andrew. Are most 18-year-old women CEOs?
Yeah. Are most 18-year-old women dating 35-year-old men?
No, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah, but the thing is like, when it comes to attraction, right? Most people are generally attracted and meet people within their same demographics and groups. That is the case with all dating.
Sure.
So if it's the case that this woman is seeking older men, right? If she's seeking them, what's the problem?
I don't think she should be seeking people that old. I think it's going to lead to her.
So I
becoming
consent.
more
I consent.
traumatized.
You don't consent.
No.
Yeah, you don't consent.
Hold on, but Andrew, you
don't consent to their relationship.
You make the same claim for people under the age of 18.
How?
You don't consent to someone who is 41 dating someone who's 16.
Yeah, but I gave justifications for that. You have given none for this. You just say it's hyper-predatory. Sometimes
still
maybe.
predatory.
Sometimes maybe.
I think someone who wants to date someone that young, it's revealing.
Sometimes maybe.
I think more times than not.
No, I'm not sure. Like, you haven't made that case, though. That's the case I'm waiting for.
You're almost like asking me to argue against why it's wrong for adults to have sex with, like, who are fundamentally children at that point.
So 18-year-olds are fundamentally children?
I think to a 41-year-old, there's almost no difference. Virtual zero difference.
Can you tell me what
to a
makes
17-year-old
18-year-olds children?
I'm not saying children in the legal sense of the term.
No, that's not. Whatever sense. Whatever sense.
I'm saying they are much younger.
I know they're younger.
And they have
what makes them fucking children, bro?
Obviously had much less life experience than you have.
Okay, so that's what makes them children? That they have less life experience?
To a 41-year-old?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How does that make him a child?
Functionally a child? Absolutely.
They're not functionally a child. Why do they just like not have fucking agency because they're young?
I'm not saying they don't have agency. I'm saying there are better and worse decisions that people can make.
What's the bads in this decisions? That keeps being my question. You won't answer. What are the bads? What? You got nothing, dude. You never have anything. When I put you to the question, you fucking run every time. What are the bads versus the goods? Can we go over them?
No.
No.
I'm done talking about 40.
Dude,
I'm done talking about 41-year-olds.
You're such a coward, dude.
I'm done. Yeah,
I'm
I'm a coward.
Worst coward
I'm a coward because I'm refusing to engage
You're
anymore.
refusing to engage with a legitimate social question from your view about feminism. That's what you're doing.
Okay.
This is a very common talking point from feminists that women are being hyper predatorized by older men, and then when I say, okay, well, let's get into whether or not that's happening or not, you fucking run. It's pure cowardice. I'm gonna go have a smoke while you let super chat.
If I asked you to justify, if I asked you to like justify something like PDF files, would you do it?
Bro, am I asking you to justify PDF files?
No, but I'm saying they're in a similar category. I'm saying
here's
they're
what
in
I
a
would do.
similar category.
I would make great arguments for why it is that PDF files should be fucking roasted and put up against a wall. That's what I would do.
Okay.
You're making zero fucking arguments. None.
Okay, Andrew.
You suck, dude.
Okay.
All right, we're going to read a couple chats.